Hello everyone, it's Jimmy. I'm stupidly locked in here, and welcome back to another video of Pokemon Black and White. In the last video, we completed the first set of the Battle Subway Super Single Line Train, battles 1 through 7, and today we're just going to be continuing on with the streak with the second set, or battles 8 through 14 of the Battle Subway Super Single Line Train. So without further ado, let's begin. Alright, here we go. Battle number 1 of the second set. And the first Pokemon that she's gonna send out is a Jolteon. Wow, that's interesting. Like I said in my previous video, anytime I'm going up against an electric type Pokemon in the Battle Subway or Battle Tower or Battle Frontier, I always switch out to Garchomp, and that's what I'm gonna do here. Vein Dance, wow. It probably used Vein Dance so that it can get 100% accuracy on its Thunder. But it doesn't matter because not only is Garchomp immune to Thunder or any of its electric type attacks, but thanks to the Choice Scarf, Garchomp actually outspeeds the Jolteon and can easily destroy it and knock it out with Earthquake. Alright, Espeon. I'm just gonna stick with Earthquake on it, to be honest with you. Espeons have really crappy physical defenses, and I should be able to come close to knocking it out. Up, I didn't, but it's gonna use Telekinesis on me, which just hurls me into the air and does nothing practically, as I was still able to outspeed it on the next turn and use Earthquake on it and knock it out, while not even taking any damage from it. Wow. Why would it use Telekinesis on me? It should have just used Psychic on me, or at least any other move that would have attacked me. But I guess it doesn't matter now. Alright, Umbreon. Now I'm going to switch out to Scissor. I actually should have switched out to Scissor on the first turn when it sent out Espeon, since Earthquake can't knock it out in one hit. And I was locked into Earthquake with Choice Scarf, whereas Scissor can pretty much wall any of Espeon's attacks and easily knock it out with Bug Bite or even Bullet Punch. In fact, it can just use Espeon as a setup fodder. And speaking of setup fodder, not only is Espeon a setup fodder for Scissor, but so is Umbreon, as Umbreon can't do anything to Scissor, and I can easily just set up on it with Swords Dance as many times as I want and knock it out with Bug Bite without having to worry about it doing anything to me. So yeah, that was a pretty easy first battle of the second set. So moving on to battle number 2 now. Alright, Golurk. Wow. I believe Golurk is a ground and ghost type Pokemon, so Gengar should be able to outspeed it and then knock it out with Shadow Ball. Up, not quite. It was able to live with a sliver of health remaining, and it used Rock Slide on me. Wow. Why would it use Rock Slide on me and not a ghost type attack? Wow. I mean, I'll take it. So instead of living with like 1 or 2 HP left, I was able to live with 66 HP left instead, and Shadow Ball can easily knock out Medicham in one hit. I don't even have to use Destiny Bond on it. So yeah, only one more Pokemon left, and it's an Electrode. Wow. These things are really fast, so I'm just going to use Destiny Bond on it. Why not? I'm surprised I actually outsped it with Gengar, and it's going to use Taunt on me. Wow. So it didn't even attack me. I guess I'm going to use Shadow Ball on it then, since I know I'm faster than it. And even if Gengar can't knock it out, I know Garchomp will on the next turn. And now it's going to use Electro Ball on me, which is not going to knock me out, even with the critical hit. Wow, that is just sad. And it's even more sad that it's using Protect on itself. Like, come on, you're about to die. You're about to lose anyway. You might as well just give up now. And there you go. I was able to knock out his Electro with Shadow Ball. I was able to pretty much sweep his entire team with just Gengar. Yeah, it's always annoying when the AI uses Protect on you, even when you don't have a status like inflicted on you, like Toxic or something. Because it's like, come on, man, you're just wasting everyone's time here. Alright, battle number 3. Lopunny. Wow. Should I switch out to Scissor on this turn? I'm just gonna use Focus Blast on it. Please hit, please hit. Yes! Wow, that's 2 videos in a row now that Focus Blast was actually able to hit on the first turn. And yes, it was able to knock it out in 1 hit. Yeah, the good thing about Focus Blast is that when it does hit, it has 120 base power, so it can pretty much knock out a lot of Pokemon that it's super effective against in 1 hit, like that Lopunny. For example, in Vaporeon, I'm just going to use Thunderbolt on it and Wish. Wow, please don't tech me. These are like those Wi-Fi dudes who use Wish Protect Vaporeons. And up, it's Quick Claw activated and it used Shadow Ball on me. Wow. Not good, not good. But luckily, I was able to live it. I would have lived it anyway thanks to the Focus Sash, but still, that's nice. So now all that's left on the opponent's team is a Samurott, and we can just use Destiny Bond on it and pretty much secure win number 3 of the second set. Yeah, Destiny Bond is so overpowered in the Battle Subway, Battle Tower, and Battle Frontier. Like, the AI never recognizes it, and it will just mindlessly attack you like it did right now. And see, now it goes down with me. So yeah, you just pretty much knocked yourself out, Samurott. Congrats. Yeah, the only time that I'm worried about Gengar when it's at really low health or 1 HP left with Destiny Bond is whenever it's going up against a Pokemon that is naturally faster than it, like Starmie or Weavile, for example. Because those Pokemon naturally outspeed Gengar and can always attack me first before I can even get a Destiny Bond off on it. Alright, Tyranitar, wow. This is one of the few times in the Battle Subway where Garchomp's Sandville ability actually comes into use here, but instead of switching out to Garchomp here, I'm actually going to switch out to Scissor instead, since Scissor most likely going to use a Dark-type move against Gengar, so Scissor can pretty much tank any Dark-type move it uses against me. And see, there you go, it used Fling on me, which was not very effective. Yeah, had I switched out to Garchomp, even with Sandville, assuming that it hit me, since Garchomp doesn't resist Dark, there's a decent chance that it might actually do a lot of damage to me, especially if it gets a critical hit off on me, and I just don't want to take the chance with that. And luckily, I'm faster than Tyranitar, so I can just use Superpower on it and knock it out in 1 hit. And then Weavile, wow, speaking of Weavile, Scissor just owns Weavile, man. Going back to Gen 4, like, I can just use Bullet Punch on it, outspeed it, and even with the superpower drop in attack, I was still able to knock out that Weavile in 1 hit, only with Bullet Punch. His last Pokemon is Emboar. I'm just gonna use Bullet Punch on it, get some chip damage on it. Scissor's pretty much useless against it anyway, and it's gonna use Curse on me. Wow, that's annoying. Okay, please just knock me out, man. I'm dead meat against it anyway with Scissor, and just please knock me out so that I can send out Garchomp, easily knock you out with Earthquake. And it's gonna keep using Curse on me. Why? Does it not have a Fire-type attack? See, this is the problem when you don't look up any of these Pokemon's movesets in the Battle Subway, as you're pretty much just relying on luck and chance to knock this thing out and praying that it doesn't have the right moves that can knock out your whole team. As otherwise, you get, gimmicky movesets like this Emboar, for instance, that's using Curse on me continuously instead of just knocking me out in 1 hit with a Fire-type attack. And I'm just using Superpower on it just to do more damage to it, I guess. And it's gonna use Rest? Come on. Like, I was doing so well, and this battle was going by so quickly up until now. Like, I'm not even worried about losing this battle, but I'm just concerned that this video is gonna drag on a lot longer than it needs to, all because of this Emboar. Like, come on. And now its defenses are super high, and I don't even know what attacks it has with it. Like, I'm scared that if I switch out to either Garchomp or Gengar here, that it's just gonna use an attacking move on me and knock me out, since I know that Scissor can't do anything against it, but Garchomp and Gengar can. So I'm kind of just waiting for him to just knock out my Scissor in one hit so that I can safely switch into Garchomp or Gengar on the next turn and knock this thing out in one hit. But no, it just keeps having to use Curse against me, and it's taking recoil damage from the Sandstorm on every turn. Huh, that's funny. And my attack stat has been lowered by so much due to all the times that I've used Superpower in this battle. Wow, this is unbelievable. I haven't even done over half of its health yet. Alright, I'm just gonna use Swords Dance against it if it's gonna keep using Curse against me. Oh, I guess Vest like it's using right now. Alright, good. At least he's asleep now, and now I can safely switch into either Gengar or Garchomp and try to knock this thing out once and for all. Like, wow, this battle has gone on way longer than it should have. And it's asleep. Good. It's gonna use Sleeptalk? Come on! Okay, good. It used Vest and it failed. Haha, take that, man. Alright, I'm gonna use Shadow Ball on it. Luckily, since Shadow Ball is a special type attack and Curse only raises its physical defense stat, all of the times that it used Curse on me won't matter. So Shadow Ball will still hopefully do a lot of damage to it. I just jinxed myself so hard. Shadow Ball didn't even do half of its health. Like, come on. What is this Emboar? This is unbelievable. Alright, Earthquake. Please just knock this thing out. Please. Okay, good. One more Earthquake and it should knock it out. It woke up and it tried to use Sleep Talk, but it failed since it's awake now. So yeah, one more Earthquake is finally going to finish off this Emboar. Wow. Why was this Emboar the most difficult and annoying Pokemon to deal with so far in the Battle Subway? Like, come on. Like, I'm actually speechless for how long it took me to knock that thing out. Like, usually Emboars are extremely easy to knock out since not only is it very slow, but it also has really bad defenses. So pretty much any super effective attack or move against it will pretty much knock it out unless it uses a move like Curse a bunch of times. Alright, but you know, whatever, it is what it is now. Alright, battle number 5, Durand. We can just use Thunderbolt against this since Durand has really crappy special defense. See, even a move like Thunderbolt that isn't even stab on Gengar and only does neutral damage to it takes away almost all of its health. And now we can just use another Thunderbolt against it and knock it out without even taking any damage from it. Alright, Sock. We can just use Shadow Ball against it. Shadow Ball should be able to 2-hit KO it since Sock does not have the greatest defense or special defense stat in the world. Yup, see, there you go. Payback. Well, luckily I still have Sash on Gengar, so I should be able to live this no matter what. And yup, I was able to live it with 1 HP left thanks to the Sash. And now we can just finish it off with the Shadow Ball. So he only has one more Pokemon left on his team, and it's a Poliwrath. And we can just use Destiny Bond on it. And like every trainer in the Battle Subway or Battle Tower or Battle Frontier, it's gonna mindlessly attack me, which is just gonna knock itself out along with me. Yeah, I love Destiny Bond so much, man. It makes all of these battles in the Battle Subway or Battle Tower or Battle Frontier go by so much quicker. Especially on a fast Pokemon like Gengar. And I'm so glad that I gave it the Focus Sash too, and that I saved up and used all my BP on the Focus Sash item and the Choice Scarf item, as those two items you can't get anywhere else in this game besides the Battle Subway. Alright, Mandibuzz. Wow. Luckily, Thunderbolt is super effective against it, so let's just see how much a Thunderbolt does against it. Oh, it has the Wakan Berry. Come on. And wow, that Thunderbolt barely did anything to it, and it's gonna use Flatter against me. And I'm confused now, even though my special attack stat went up. I really don't want to risk Gengar getting knocked out due to all of the confusion hacks. So I'm just gonna switch out to Scissor here. and it used Roost, which is going to restore all of its health back. Oh well, I'm just going to use Swords Dance on it, and since I have the Lumberry on Scissor, you know, the Lumberry should cure this confusion hacks that's using against me with Flatter. So yeah, now I'm at +2 attack with Swords Dance, and I'm going to use Bullet Punch on it and see how much this Bullet Punch does to it. Okay, it did over half of its health, and it's going to use Flatter on me now. Wow. Please just hit through the confusion hacks, please. I'm begging you. Oh man, oh my god. No, no, this is not what I want. Taunt. Please just hit. Please just hit. No, I'm gonna hit myself in confusion again. Come on, that's the second time in a row that I hit myself in confusion, and it did a lot of damage to me. Alright, come on. Yes, I snapped out of confusion, and I used Bullet Punch on it. Good, 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 good. Man, the buzz is down. Yeah, this is always why you want to have a Lumberry on one of your 3 Pokemon whenever you play the Battle Subway or Battle Tower or Battle Frontier, as it allows you to avoid getting screwed over by status. So now at +2 attack with Swords Dance, I almost knocked this Magnezone out in one hit with Super Power, and the only reason why it lived was because of the Sturdy ability, which allows it to live with 1 HP now. In Gen 5, back in Gen 4, the Sturdy ability wouldn't work unless you use like a one-hit KO move against it, like a Fissure or a Horn Drill or whatever. But in Gen 5, the ability Sturdy kind of works the same as like a Focus Sash, where it will always allow it to survive with 1 HP left at full health from any damage that would normally knock it out in one hit, like that Super Power, for instance. And luckily, the last Pokemon that she sent out on her team was a Tentacruel, so even when locked into Choice Scarf, I was able to easily knock it out with Earthquake. Alright, the 7th and final battle in the Battle Subway for this second set. Typhlosion. That's interesting. I believe Gengar is faster than it, and Shadow Ball should be able to at least 2-hit KO it. Unless it's faster than me, which it is, because it has Choice Scarf. Wow, and it's going to use Eruption against me, which is going to do a lot of damage since it's at full HP. So yeah. Yeah, see, Shadow Ball was able to do over half of its health, so now I'm going to switch out to Garchomp since now it's going to be locked into using Eruption against me, and this time Eruption won't do anywhere near as much damage as it did on the first turn, since, Typhlosion's HP is well below half now. And now I can just use Earthquake on it. Kangaskhan. These things are actually pretty bulky, believe it or not. So I'm going to switch out to Scissor here, as I don't want to risk it using a move like Outrage against me. Fake Out. That's not going to do any damage to me at all. Up, unless it gets a critical hit on me. Wow. Every time I say something like that, I always jinx myself. And it's going to use Double Edge against me now. Great. But luckily, Double Edge is not very effective against Scissor, and I can just use Super Power on it, which is super effective. Up, and of course it has to have a Chople Berry on it, which is going to reduce the amount of damage that a fighting type move like Super Power does to it. Alright, another Double Edge. Okay, good. I was able to survive it and use Bug Bite on it, which is gonna knock out that Kangaskhan. And alright, one more Pokemon left, and it's Darmanitan. I'm just gonna use Bullet Punch against it, since I only have 37 HP left. And good. See, I was hoping that Emboar earlier in this video could have just used the Fire type attack on me, which would have knocked out Scissor easily in one hit, and then the battle would have went by a lot quicker. But you know, now with Gengar, since luckily I had Sash on it and I was able to survive that eruption from Typhlosion, I'm gonna use Destiny Bond on it, which is gonna take it down with me. So yeah, that's gonna finish off the Darmanitan, and with that, we have completed all 7 battles during the second set. And so yeah, we're ready to move on to the third set of the Battle Subway Super Single Line Train, which I'm gonna be showing you all in the next video. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe if you have not already. And so yeah, I like how the number of BP that they give you increases after each set that you complete in the Battle Subway Super Single Line Train. Unlike in the single line train or double line train where they only give you 3 BP after each battle besides the final battle against the subway boss.